Ravenfall City was one of those American cities that looked ordinary on the map. Office buildings, highways, shopping malls, everything seemed normal. But a city that feels normal during the day reveals its true face at night. Ravenfall didn't speak at night. The city remembered. And when memories became too heavy, someone always came to collect the debt. It was 2:13 a.m. when Detective James Carter's phone rang. At that hour, phones rang for only two kinds of people, those doing something wrong and those trying to stop it. Detective Carter, the dispatcher said, Old Harbor District. Male body. Possible homicide. James closed his eyes. Old Harbor meant trouble, silence, and too many unanswered questions. He got into his car and drove through the empty streets of the city. Under the streetlights, his shadow moved alongside the vehicle, as if the city itself was following him. When he arrived at the scene, police lights cut through the darkness. Crime scene tape was up. Bystanders stood at a distance. The body belonged to a man in his early 30s. White male, 3 stab wounds to the chest. The blood had already gone cold. But James' eyes stopped at the victim's hand. A small piece of paper was clenched between his fingers. James put on gloves and unfolded it. The words read, Asterisk, the truth always collects its debt. Asterisk. James read it again. Then a third time. This murder wasn't committed in anger. It was calculated. The victim's identity was confirmed shortly after. Ethan Walker. Profession, investigative journalist. For James, everything changed in that moment. Ethan Walker wasn't an ordinary reporter. He was the kind who dug into a city's secrets and then acted surprised when the city responded. Detective Lisa Monroe arrived at the scene and studied the body. Knife work is clean, she said. No hesitation. James nodded. This won't be the last one. Lisa looked at him. You think there will be more? James held up the note. This isn't a warning. It's a receipt. Ethan Walker's apartment was in an old downtown building. There were no signs of forced entry. Inside, everything was clean. Too clean. The laptop sat on the table, but the hard drive had been wiped. His phone was missing. Documents were gone. But one thing remained. A corkboard on the wall. Photographs. Names. Lines connecting them. And at the center, one word written over and over again. Project Ash. Lisa said, Project Ash, the city's redevelopment plan. James stared at the board. This is more than redevelopment. Ethan had been digging into this project. And when a journalist goes after power, power usually responds. 48 hours later, Ravenfall found another body. This time, it was in the parking lot outside the city records office. Victim, Michael Reed, government employee, divorced, known as a quiet man. The method was exactly the same. Knife, 3 wounds, and the same note. Asterisk, the truth always collects its debt. Asterisk, there was no doubt anymore. This was a pattern. James said, he's killing people who knew something. Lisa asked, Project Ash? James nodded. Not just Ash, the entire system. According to official records, Project Ash was flawless. Safety approvals cleared. Budgets approved. Environmental checks passed. But both Ethan and Michael had been close to those records. And now, both were dead. A third name appeared in the file. Daniel Brooks, real estate tycoon, the biggest investor in Project Ash, one of the wealthiest men in the city. Lisa closed the file and said, If Brooks dies, the city will panic. James replied, Or maybe the city will finally wake up. The media pressure exploded. Serial killer on the loose. Vigilante justice. But James knew better. This wasn't a vigilante. This was someone sending a message. And messages are only meant for those willing to listen. Daniel Brooks was found dead inside his luxury penthouse. Security systems bypassed. Cameras looped. Knife wounds precise. And the note, the same words. The city shook. But for James, the picture became clearer. Every path led to one name. Aaron Miller, former data analyst, previously involved in Project Ash. Aaron Miller had no criminal record, no job, No social life, but he had a brother who had died years earlier in a construction accident. According to the official report, a steel beam failure. But when James reopened the case, he discovered Asterisk safety reports had been